Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Thanks for being here. Today we're going to compare two powerhouses in the bike world, the Indian Chieftain and the Harley Street Glide. These are both beautiful bikes, so let's see how they stack up against each other. These bikes are most recognized by the batwing fairing on the front. This fairing is mounted on the forks so it turns with the front wheel. The Indian Chieftain comes in 4 different versions, ranging from $23,000 to $35,500. The Chieftain, the Chieftain Limited, the Chieftain Dark Horse, and the Chieftain Elite. The Harley Street Glide comes in 3 different versions, ranging from $22,000 to about $31,000. The Street Glide Special, and the Street Glide ST. If you have a favorite in these bikes, leave a comment below. Let me know what you like most about your Street Glide or your Chieftain. So first, let's compare the Chieftain versus the Street Glide. The Chieftain is powered by a Thunderstroke 111 engine with 119 foot-pounds of torque. It has a 5.5 gallon tank, 25.6 inch seat height, weighs in at 823 pounds, ready to go. It has cruise control, ABS, LED lights, riding modes. The infotainment system has a 7-inch touchscreen and 100-watt speaker system, but it only comes in black and has a fully blacked out engine. The Street Glide has a Milwaukee 8107 with 111 foot-pounds of torque. It has a 6-gallon tank, weighs in at 829 pounds. It has cruise control, but ABS is an optional add-on. The front headlights are halogen and not LED. Does not have riding modes. It has a 26-inch seat height. The infotainment system has a 4.3-inch screen, and the sound system is 50 watts. The Street Glide comes in black, red, or gray and is all chrome. All in all, the Chieftain wins on this with a better infotainment system, slightly lighter bike, more power in the engine. The Harley does have better color options though, but for an added price. Next, going by price, is the Chieftain Limited compared to the Street Glide Special. The Chieftain Limited starts at $28,000 and has a Thunderstroke 116 engine in it now with 126 foot-pounds of torque. Still a 5.5 gallon tank and 25.6 inch seat height, still at 823 pounds. It has 3 colors on this one, but all chrome. The infotainment is basically the same, still a 7-inch touchscreen with 100 watts of power to the speakers, but now also includes navigation and Apple CarPlay integration. The front fairing now has a height adjustable windshield as well. It has remote lockable saddlebags and rear cylinder deactivation. The Street Glide Special also starts at $28,000 and has the Milwaukee 8114 engine with 118 foot-pounds of torque, a 6-gallon tank, a 26-inch seat height still, and weighs in at 827 pounds. It has several different color options, both chrome and blacked out options in there. The infotainment system is now a 6.5-inch touchscreen, still with just 50 watts of power. It now has ABS and LED lights as standard. Again, the Chieftain Limited seems to edge out the Street Glide Special just a little bit with slightly more power and more features on it. The Street Glide Special does have a lot more color options, including the 120th anniversary paint scheme. Third is the Chieftain Dark Horse versus the Street Glide ST. The Chieftain Dark Horse basically has all the same specs as the Limited, except it has a lot more color options, all of them blacked out, and starts at $29,000. The Street Glide ST is a slightly different animal. It now has the Milwaukee 8117 engine, producing the same 126 foot-pounds of torque that the Chieftain has. It starts at $30,000. It appears to have the same infotainment system as the Special. It has different wheels on it and an air handler that sticks out on the right side, and also has a driver-only seat, single seat, no passenger, giving it a much sportier look than the Street Glide Special. It comes in only 2 colors, cream and black. Well, technically sand pearl or something like that, and black. Both of them blacked out engines. This one is difficult to pick a clear winner. The Chieftain Dark Horse does have a lower starting price and more color options. The Street Glide ST definitely has the cool factor in the curb appeal and actually finally has an engine that matches the same torque as the Chieftain, so I'm calling this one a tie. And last we have the Chieftain Elite for $35,500. This baby has a black and bronze color scheme and a 400 watt sound system with 8 speakers as well as special wheels on it. Otherwise it's pretty much the same as the Chieftain Limited or Dark Horse. The only comparison to the Chieftain Elite would be a CVO Street Glide from Harley if they had one, but they don't currently. Rumor has it that they are planning on releasing a CVO Street Glide at some point in time, but we don't have an official release date yet, although I saw a video that said that it probably is going to be 2024. We will have to wait and see. Now when it comes to actually riding these bikes, well, that was a bit of a challenge. Let's talk about the 2 experiences I had at the dealerships. First, I went to Harley. The person I'm talking with and working with at Harley knows that I'm not in the market for a bike right now, that I'm just doing research. And while I do plan to upgrade to a bagger at some point in time, it's probably not going to be until next year. Despite that, they're still open to me coming in and doing test rides. However, I have noticed that they are kind of pushing me towards the used bikes a little bit. After all, if I'm just doing research and not planning on buying right now, why put miles on a brand new bike and risk something happening to the brand new bike? I totally get that, and I'm totally okay with it. Next ride is probably going to be a road glide, and they are aware of that, and I appreciate that they're willing to let me come in and test ride just for the sake of research for a future purchase down the road. Anyway, I took a test ride on a 2020 Street Glide Special, which is basically the same thing as the 2023. And to be honest, I didn't really enjoy it. I don't know if there's something wrong with this bike or if it's just how the Street Glide rides. First, the bike vibrated a lot when I was at slow speeds or at a full stop. Felt like it was going to shake my fillings out. When I talked to them back at the dealer after the ride, they confirmed that it's not supposed to do that, so they're probably going to take it into the service department and have them check it out. The other issue I found is that it was a lot more difficult to counter steer the bike than on what I'm used to, even on the heavier bikes that I rode, the Indian Springfield, for instance. There was no problems with counter steering. The Super Chief Limited, the Harley Heritage were all the same way. This one, it took a lot more effort to push the bars so that I could steer the bike. And I'm guessing that is because there's several added pounds of weight on the handlebars with the fork mounted fairing on there, but I don't know. I kind of wondered, it still felt a little weird to me, and I kind of wondered if it was still an issue with this bike. If you've had experience with a Street Glide or a Chieftain, let me know your thoughts on this. Is it normal to have to put more effort into counter steering and pushing the bars because of the fork mounted fairing on there? Leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts on this. The next day I went up to my Indian dealer. This is the 3rd time in about a month or so that I've been there. 3 or 4 weeks ago I rode the Super Chief Limited, and then last week it was the Springfield. I had filled out the form on their website letting them know I was coming in and wanted to ride a Chieftain. I didn't hear back, but I hadn't heard back in other instances as well, so I figured it was okay. When I got there, the gentleman at the sales desk that I've worked with before said they were very busy and wouldn't be able to let me do a test ride that day. Not only that, he said that if I wanted to test ride bikes, that I should wait and go out on a demo day. Now, I have a couple of big issues with this. First of all, there was no one else in the showroom. As I was leaving, there was one guy that was coming back from a test ride on a bike, but he left pretty much the same time I did. He was only there for like a minute, and there was no one else in the showroom. So no, they were not busy. That was a bunch of baloney. Second of all, I've looked at your website, Indian, for your demo days, because I understand that's an ideal time to go ride a couple of different bikes to test ride and see what I like. And you don't have any demo days scheduled for my local dealer. So if you're going to tell me you're not going to let me test ride a bike and to wait and do it on a demo day, but you don't have any demo days scheduled, then that tells me you just don't want to sell me a bike. I guess I'm going to have to go somewhere else. There is a demo day scheduled at a different Indian dealer. It's like 2 hours away from me, and it's not until the end of May, but I'm probably going to go down there and see what I can do to get on a Chieftain and maybe even a Challenger if they'll let me do 2 bikes in one day. Sorry for the rant. That's the end of that. All that to say, I didn't get to test ride a Chieftain, and so I have no idea how it compares to the Street Glide, and the Street Glide test I did didn't turn out very good anyway, so I'm not sure how accurate of a test that was. So really, I don't have any personal experience to go on with comparing these 2 bikes. But if you're still here and still watching, just let me say thank you. I appreciate it. That means you're probably, hopefully, enjoying these videos, and please subscribe to them. Please like and hit the notification bell so you'll know when the next one's coming up. The next one's going to be a Road Glide versus Challenger comparison, understanding that I won't be able to ride the Challenger, at least not until late May. And the weather is looking pretty sucky for the next week or so, so not sure when I'll get back to Harley to try a Road Glide, but we will get one done as soon as I can. Thanks everybody for being here. Take care. See you all next time.